taking his team to the big dance. And the Aces go with Snow, Seitz, all freshmen in the Missouri Valley Conference. And there's Marcus Wilson's second all-time score at Evansville. Roy Williams, 11th year, 2 Final Fours in the 90s. More wins by the Kansas program in the 90s than any other school. Nick Bradford with T.J. Pugh. Chenoweth was all Big 12 tournament selection last week, but the freshman who's come on, Jeff Boschee, was the Big 12 tournament most valuable player. And Ryan Robertson, the senior, who's been so big through the years for the Jayhawks. Bonnie Bernstein is also with us. Let's check in with Bonnie right now.
Hi, Jim. Just touched base with Roy Williams, and he said, you know what? You got to give Evansville credit. He thinks they're just as good of a shooting team as Kansas is. He said the way we're going to have to beat them tonight is with our size and our defense, Jim.
For Kansas to get this thing started, they need to take some time, get some decent looks. Stanton, good solid ball handler. Doesn't look to shoot much, just initiate the offense.
The jumper in and out for Snow, and Chenoweth pulls it away for the Hawks.
And nobody within 12 feet for an offensive rebound for Evansville.
Chenoweth was wide open. There he is. And mistimed his jump.
Actually should have had that, Jim.
Kansas defense has really come on here. That's a big reason why they won the Big 12 tournament. Wilson, their leading scorer, hits a three.
Now Robertson made a decision as to whether to go over or underneath the screen. Picked to go underneath, and Wilson just drained it. Too good a shooter to let that wide open. That looks like a replay of what we saw with Zerbiak earlier in the day.
Pugh with the basket for Kansas.
Good change off the pass by Seitz, but went a little bit too far.
Stepped on the baseline. Kansas, when it won the Big 12 tournament last Sunday, held Oklahoma State to only 37 points. The fewest points allowed by Kansas since a game back in 1968. Cowboys, who advanced yesterday in the tournament, will win over Syracuse, shot only 23% from the field. Boschee blocked by Stanton from behind. He released early, but Chenoweth and others, and a timeout called by Bagley.
Well, I think it's a jump situation because nobody had possession. I can't believe Bagley got credit for the possession and they go to the arrow there because it was a jump situation. Nobody really had possession.
So the arrow belongs to the Purple Aces.
Not a flow to this game yet, Jim. Be interesting to see who establishes some kind of a pattern. Good defense by Pugh. He's an excellent defender. Really fights over the top.
Bagley from the right wing. Got it this time. Another three for the Aces.
Big shot there because what it does is it makes Chenoweth play him honestly, which pulls him away from the basket.
Chenoweth pass off the hands of Snow.
If you're Roy Williams, you've got to question the tempo of your team right now. And, you know, they're led by a freshman in the backcourt as well as Robertson. I think Robertson's experience has to take over now and settle his team down a little bit. Evansville plays solid defense, so you just can't force bad shots or passes.
Robertson hasn't had a lot of touches in the first 3 minutes. Chenoweth, hook shot comes up short.
Excellent defense by Bagley.
Stanton pushes it up.
You see any Indiana in this team with a lot of this screening on the inside, huh?
Just a little bit. Jim Cruz, four-year letterman for Indiana. His senior year, they were undefeated back in '76. And also served as an assistant to Bobby Knight for 8 years. Head of the Missouri Valley, 2,400 students in the school.
I would have to say, Jim, 2,400 students makes that the smallest enrollment of any school in this year's NCAA tournament. What do you think?
It's got to be close.
Yeah.
I remember last year that belonged to Davidson, 1,600.
Yeah, I would say it's the smallest this year. But an incredible tradition. 5 times under Aaron McCutcheon This school won the College Division National Championship. Now, of course, Division I.
Kwame James, number 50, has come in, as well as Chuck Hetty right there, number 40, for the Purple Aces, who are jumping on Kansas here early, 9-2.
Something thrown on the floor. Jim, and I think the reason for that is I think that Evansville more comfortable with the pace of the way they're playing than is Kansas. They came down and acted like they were going to knock out Evansville, and that's not what you're going to do against a solid club like this. Just as you pointed out at the top of the show, the Valley has shown it's got some basketball teams. You better give them the proper respect.
Boshi, freshman, three-pointer.
Young man who we saw early this season on CBS, at that time having a hard time figuring out when to take the right shots, doing a much better job now.
Wilson, three-pointer on the other end. He has 9 for the Aces.
A brilliant outside shooter. Robertson cannot afford to turn his head like he did and let him open. Now the boos that we hear, Jim,
for Lester
Earl is coming in the game. You can expand on that story later, but he didn't even get to the sideline before they started booing him.
And a foul on Wilson. Lester Earl will come in for Kansas along with Kenny Gregory, but Earl is from Baton Rouge, right up the road, a little more than an hour away, and the Cajuns down here blame him for LSU being slapped with probation.
Well, of course, he attended LSU and then got immunity to go ahead and testify against them. And so the people down here not too happy. And look at this, Evansville in a little zone defense.
Lester Earl has battled injuries all season, a knee operation in December, sprained ankle in January, and really emerged for the first time this season in the Big 12 tournament just last week.
Oh, a solid zone defense here, really packed inside.
Gregory, nice move.
Kenny Gregory, Kansas.
Both teams going to this bench early and playing about the same numbers. Evansville a solid 8 or 9 deep, probably 8.
Kyle Runyon in the game, gives it up to James. Jumper, too strong. Gregory. Robertson in the lane.
Won't see that happen very much against Evansville. A guy driving all the way from the outside. Nobody picking him up. Relatively small team out there right now for Evansville.
Stanton. Wow.
They are
another three.
Tearing it up from the outside. This is kind of like that exhibit that Penn put on against Florida yesterday.
They made 4 out of their first 5 from behind the arc. Boshi off the screen. And Wilson snags it. They've got the numbers. Pull up jumper. And Wilson is on fire. He's got 11.
Jim, you got to make him drive. He's an outside shooter. And a great one.
And they boo as soon as the ball touches the hands of Lester Earl. We were anxious to see what the reaction would be down here.
Well, it's going to be tough for this young man to concentrate on the game. Could you imagine returning home in an NCAA tournament game to your home area? Normally, that's a big celebration. Very positive. Here's a negative one.
Robertson from the baseline. Beautiful.
Kansas, Ryan Robertson.
Well, Earl had been talking all week to his teammates about how thrilled he was to come here. And last night, Roy Williams allowed him to pick the restaurant for the Jayhawks, for the team meal. You got some good choices down this way, believe me.
Wilson has had 3 30-point games this year so far, and he's off to a pretty good start tonight.
That shot. 8-point lead by the Purple Aces.
I think they're going to have to put somebody a little bit more athletic on him than Robertson. Maybe a guy like Gregory, because he's shooting right over Robertson.
Hugh.
Basket by number 32, TJ, Kansas.
See, Robertson normally is bigger than the guy he's playing in the back court, but not tonight. There he gets stuck again behind the screen. Forget it. Roy, you've got to get a more athletic player on this young man. He's a little tired right now. He was looking to come out. Jimmy Cruz just waved him off.
He's saying, hey, Wally Szczerbiak, you're not the only guy who can fill it up in here. Szczerbiak had 43 earlier today, 43 of his team's 59. Just a remarkable performance, leading Miami into the second round. Earl.
That's a good way to silence him, and Roy Williams claps for Earl. He's got to focus on the game, can't worry about the crowd.
You know, there just aren't any whistles in this game. We haven't even had the under 16 timeout yet.
Now maybe that's why Wilson's so tired.
Heading. Boy, this is at the other end.
Jim, you pointed it out at the top. Team shoots 50%. No matter who comes in off of that bench or starters, they are drilling it.
Gregory lost control of it. Wilson and lays it in for 2 more. He has 18 points in the first 8 minutes.
Well, Wally Szczerbiak's record's going to last for half an hour.
Half a day.
3.5 hours.
Unbelievable. Pugh.
Nice.
Twice.
Hetty playing right behind him. I'll tell you, because there are no timeouts, Jim, all the guys that have seen constant action, Pugh being an example, they are exhausted.
It's supposed to be an official timeout, the first whistle under 16 minutes, and then one under 12, 8, 4, etc. And have you ever seen a game go to 11 minutes or below without a whistle?
Well, what I like, the fact that the referees are letting the game play.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that people aren't fouling, just letting them play, and they're establishing a pattern to the game.
Before that miss, Evansville had hit 6 straight from the field. Earl passes to Pugh.
There's your foul.
Yep, fouled by Stanton.
Pretty good help by Stanton, though, coming inside. Look at Pugh.